Christian Science Monitor. And now, John Hart.
Finally, 1 week after one Arab country decided to erase another Arab country by force, Arab leaders now gathering in Cairo, many of whom have armed their own countries against each other, insist they still belong to an Arab nation. Because the geography of this nation is in the mind and not on the ground, different Arabs see it differently. Saddam Hussein said he invaded Kuwait because the Arab nation was in danger. President Mubarak called this summit to save the Arab nation because of this Arab invasion. So if the Arab nation is an idea and not a place, what are its citizens? What is an Arab? There is an Arab geography. It originates where the Arabs did in Arabia. They were there before Muhammad came in the 7th century, before Islam gave them the reach and spirit to become an empire. Within 100 years, Arabs ruled a 3,000-mile reach from what is now the southern Soviet Union across the Mediterranean to include what is now southern Italy and all of Spain. 1,300 years later, the Arab countries are gone from Europe and are deeper into Africa. They have been ruled by Persians, Turks, British, French, Italian, and Spanish. And now they are independent, divided, and speaking of unity. Keep in mind that Arab and Muslim are not always the same. Most Arabs are Muslim, but as Islam is the world's third largest religion, most Muslims are not Arabs. As Arabs have not agreed what their nation is, and non-Arabs may not be sure, therefore, what makes an Arab, we asked Dr. Farouk El-Baz, a scientist at Boston University, about both. He is Arab and Muslim, American and Egyptian.
The Arab nation is really something in the Arab mind. There is no such thing today as the Arab nation, but it is the collection of countries that make most of North Africa and the Arabian Peninsula, both in the north and in the south. So it really is an affiliation with the concept of unity of a whole people that had a very distinct culture called Arab culture.
What is the difference between a Muslim and an Arab?
There is a great deal of difference, really, because an Arab is somebody that feels that he belongs to the Arab nation, and a Muslim is somebody who is religiously following that specific religion. Because an Arab, in reality, can be a Muslim, he can be Christian, he can be Jewish. Because many of the Jews that lived in the Arab world in the past, and some of them to this day in Morocco and in Yemen and so on, believe themselves Arab. And to this day, many of the Moroccan Jews are advisors to the king, members of the cabinet and so on, and consider themselves as Arabs.
The outcome of the Arab summit will be a new definition of what the Arab nation is, or is not.
I really think so, in terms of the fact that the heads of state of the Arab nations today are meeting to find a solution to an Arab problem. So to resolve the problem within the Arab family, so to speak.
This family, how do you view it?
It is a family that has squabbles, like any other family, and but there is still an affiliation between most people in the Arab world. An affiliation that they say, if I am in need and if I'm in real trouble, one of these members of the family is going to come and save me or help me. I can always rely on that.
Now, Saddam Hussein is appealing very strongly to this idea of the Arab nation, putting himself forward as a protector or champion of the Arab nation.
Yes, and he does that basically because of the perceived success against Iran. He became convinced that what he is doing is really protecting the whole Arab world in general, and the Gulf states in particular, from devastating aggression from Iran and the exportation of the fundamentalist theory into the Gulf, the rest of the Gulf states. So he sees himself as a savior of the Arab nation from that point of view.
So what we have here is a different idea of the Arab nation between Saddam Hussein's idea and other people's idea.
That is correct. The idea of the Arab nation, which has one of its purposes the fight for Palestine as opposed to the Arab nation that wants to be part of the nation, the world, the whole world.
But they meet when they both have this idea in the mind to go back and be the empire that was there 1,000 years ago. And that must include the erasure of Israel and the restoration of Palestine to Arab hands.
Not at all. No, no, no. The vast majority of the Arab people now in the Arab world accept the state of Israel as a fact and are willing to live in peace with Israel. And the support of the Arab nation and the renaissance of the Arab nation can happen in the presence of a country called Israel.